Hi guys, in this video we're going to learn about the quotient rule of differentiation, and I've already done a video on power rule, chain rule, product rule. Now in the fourth part of quotient rule. If you want to find these videos on power rule, chain rule and product rule, make sure to check for links in the description box below this video. Okay, so let us look at the general rule for quotient rule. What's the general rule? So the general rule for the quotient rule is basically we have a quotient of two functions, which is f over g. We have a function f divided by the function g. So what we say is y prime is now equal to f prime g. Differentiate the top, leave the bottom, subtract, differentiate the bottom and leave the top, divided by, we have an additional part, divided by the denominator squared. Right, so let us have a look at a problem where we apply the power rule and then apply the quotient rule and see if we're getting equivalent answers first. So I have done a problem in power rule, I think, right? So let me just copy that. Right, so there's a problem in power rule where we are, number 4 of power rule. Right, so I've got this example over here, which I will take as example 1 in my quotient rule. Right, so what I've got here is y is equal to x cubed minus 1 over x minus 1. So we see that, right, we're getting an answer of 2x plus 1. Now, what if I apply the quotient rule, or applying the QR? Right, so quotient rule. So let us apply the quotient rule and see what's the answer. So I will rewrite the question, which is y is equal to x cubed minus 1 over x minus 1. So y prime, now remember, with quotient rule, without doing anything, you just need to look at the quotient of two functions. So that's f, and this is the function g. So what's your rule? Differentiate the top, leave the bottom, subtract, differentiate the bottom, leave the top, over the denominator squared. So let's see if we end up with the same answer as 2x plus 1. Right, so if I differentiate the top, I'm getting 3x squared, leave the bottom, which is x minus 1, subtract, differentiate the bottom, which is 1, and leave the top, which is x cubed minus 1, divided by, if I square the denominator, I should get x minus 1 all squared. Right, so let me try to open this function up and see what we get. Right, so the easiest way to simplify, otherwise then you need to remember how to factorize x cubed minus 1. You can factorize and then take out x minus 1 as a common factor and then cancel out with the denominator. You should get the same answer. Otherwise, let me just open it up. So we're getting 3x cubed, 3x squared times x is 3x cubed minus 3x squared. What are we getting here? Minus x cubed plus 1 divided by, is it a plus 1? Let me just check these calculations. 3x cubed minus 3x squared minus x cubed plus 1 divided by all of this. If we simplify this, we are getting x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now let's see if we simplify the top, we're getting 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 1 divided by x squared minus 2x plus 1. It seems like as if you still need to know how to factorize cubic functions, but anyways, let us factorize this cubic function here. So obviously we are getting 2x and x, 1 and 1. Let me see if 1 is a 0 of the polynomial on top. If I substitute 1 inside, I'm getting 2 plus 1, which is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0, so 1 works. Should be x minus 1 here. Should be x minus 1 here. Let me just put an x minus 1. Right, so in the second part we should get 2x squared. sorry, not 2, yeah, we should get 2x squared. That is correct. Now, what's the middle term here? Well, there is an easy way to factorize this. You can take the product of these two. Okay, if you take the product of these two, minus 1 times 2, which is minus 2, with an opposite sign, product of these inner terms with an opposite sign, which is 2, and add it to the coefficient of x squared. So we're getting 2 minus, getting minus x. That should be a plus 1 at the end. All over x squared minus 2x plus 1. How about rewriting this as this factorized form, which is x minus 1 all squared. Now, if I go and factorize this, which is x minus 1 into 2x and x, getting 1 and 1 over x minus 1 all squared. How is it 1 and 1? It should give you the total result minus 1 and a plus 1 here. So you're getting minus 2x plus x, which is minus x. So perfect. We can see that x minus 1 all squared, x minus 1, and those cancel out. And my final answer is 2x plus 1. I think that factorizing this would have been much more better. Like factorizing this and then taking out x minus 1 as a common factor from both these terms would have been easier. Anyways, what we can see is that this answer is 2x plus 1. The derivative of this function is 2x plus 1, and the derivative here is also 2x plus 1. So it basically confirms that my rule is actually true. So let us solve. Where will these problems fail? So obviously if you raise this to some power and raise the denominator to some power, then the rule will actually, you can't actually do this now factorizing technique. Example like this. So I have a function y is equal to x, let's take a simple one, x squared plus 1 over x squared minus 3. Now how are you going to factorize this? Right, so obviously the power rule will actually fail here. Can't really factorize this. So we want to find the derivative of this function. So we're going to say y prime is now equal to, find the derivative of the top, we get 2x, leave the bottom, x squared minus 3, subtract, differentiate the bottom, we're getting 2x, and leave the top, which is x squared plus 1, over the denominator squared, which is x squared minus 3 all squared. Now what are we getting? We can actually go and simplify this function. We should try to simplify as far as possible. So if I take out 2x as a common factor from both, I'm getting x squared minus 3. I'm taking out 2x as a common factor, so minus x squared, and then yeah, because we took out then a minus 1 here, all over x squared minus 3 all squared. Now we can see that x squared and the x squared cancels out here, and we're left with minus 4 times 2, which is minus 8x over x squared minus 3 all squared. And that's my final simplified answer, number 3. Let's look at something with like square roots and stuff, like y is equal to or higher powers. What if I have to find the derivative of something like this, which is 2x squared minus 3 to the power 5 over the square root of x squared plus 1. What if I have to go and find the derivative of this? A little bit difficult, but it's not impossible. Right, so if I have to go and rewrite this in the power and chain form, you can say this is 2x squared minus 3 to the power 5 divided by x squared plus 1 to the power half. Now let us find the derivative. So we're going to differentiate the top. In other words, we're going to apply the chain rule here. So 5 into 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4, take away 1 from the power, and then differentiate the inside. We're getting 4x. We just found the derivative of the top. Leave the bottom, which is x squared plus 1 to the power half, which is great. We left the bottom. Remember the rule, f prime g minus g prime f. So now we left the bottom, subtract, differentiate the bottom, which is half into x squared plus 1 to the power negative half times 2x, derivative of the inside, which is 2x, from chain rule. Make sure to check the video out on chain rule. Go in order, guys. Alright, and then times 2x squared minus 3 to the power 5, 2x squared minus 3 to the power 5. Leave the top. All over the denominator squared. If I square the denominator, I will get x squared plus 1. That's it. You can't say to the power, you're squaring half to the half, then times 2, which is 1. So that's great. Let us simplify now. When you're simplifying, same concept as before. If you want to simplify, take out the lowest power. So I've got the lowest power here. Let me cancel the 2, the half and the 2 cancels out. I can also take out an x as a common factor, so let me highlight the x as well. And I've got 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4, which can go into this term and this term over here. Anything else I can take out as a common factor? No, that's it. So all the yellow ones that are highlighted. So I can take out x into x squared plus 1 to the power negative half into 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4 into. So let's take the first term over here, over this. Remember, I still need to put it all over x squared plus 1. So let me just put it all over x squared plus 1. Right. Now let's see here. We're taking all of this term and dividing by all of this term here. So 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4, 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4 disappears. The x and the x cancel out. We left with 5 times 4, which is 20. Now x squared plus 1 to the power half divided by x squared plus 1 to the power negative half, you will end up with half plus half, which is just x squared plus 1. So the first part is sorted out. If you open this bracket up, make sure you get this, right? Now the next part is minus. Now remember, the x and the x cancel out. The x squared plus 1 to the power negative half and the x squared plus 1 to the power negative half cancels out. The 2x squared minus 3 to the power 5 divided by 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4, we're just getting 2x squared minus 3. That's it. That's the only thing that we are getting in this second part, divided by this. Now what we can see is that we have like terms here, which is this part here and this part here. We can combine them and put it in the denominator. So this is to the power 1. If we shift this down, should get to the power 3 over 2. 1 plus a half. So you should get x squared plus 1 to the power 1 plus a half. So which is to the power 3 over 2. So this x plus 1, this power and this power gets, I'm combining these two terms. So what we are left with now is x into 2x squared minus 3 to the power 4 into, we have 20x squared minus 2x squared, which is 18x squared. Then we have 20 plus 3 plus 23. And that is my final answer. So guys, you can get like infinitely many problems with quotient rule. So I hope you understand these 3 problems, guys. Don't forget to like this video and also comment. Thank you.